Hey, everybody. We're just in a mid-conversation. Welcome once again to IncrediChat with me, Mike, the Incredi King, the undisputed Incredi King. Our friend Anthony just said tonight on his Alternaverse post. But we also, what do you want to be, Grassia? Who are you tonight?
I'm always just Grassia. That's fine. Or if you want, like I joke with you, I'm the IncrediGod.
Graz.
A little higher than you.
Graz. That's blasphemy to be a god.
No, it's not.
Why?
I'm not saying I'm the god, right? I'm
just you're the IncrediGod.
IncrediGod.
I'm the Incredi King, Carol Baskin. No. Anyway, so tonight on IncrediChat, we have a exciting evening. Our guest star is the there's our backlog. Star of stage and screen, an amazing artist, talent, all-around wonderful person. You know her on Sesame Street as that little fairy, Abby Cadabby. But she also does all this other great stuff with her other character, Lolly Lardpop. So let's welcome to our show tonight, Leslie Carrera Rudolph.
Oh, hi!
Yes, her hand for a minute.
Yep.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Leslie, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing a craft right now.
Uh-oh.
I'm getting ready for Weird Wednesday.
Weird. Well, so for our Josh, I always have trouble with his name because he pops in.
Josh Hankmeyer?
Yes, Josh Hankmeyer. He says, hi, Leslie. We're going to have a lot of people joining us tonight already. So
I have a ton of Josh's artwork. In fact, we just added on Lolly's page a thing that says fan art, and it's almost all Josh and Smig.
Yep. Another great artist.
Yeah. So they're so loyal. Okay, sorry. I was just finishing my craft.
No, so for anybody who doesn't know, and Leslie, you could talk about this. Outside, I mean, you're just multi-talented. You do it all. You sing, you write, you puppeteer, you act, you craft.
I make pipe cleaner sculptures.
And that is an amazing. What's his name?
Well, this is this actually, and I was talking to Michael about this, is that my goal, I've had this story, The Night Before Hollow Scream, which is an actual little comic book that I gave away when we were doing all of our Comic-Cons.
Yes.
It was this tiny little giveaway.
Yep, I got that somewhere.
Right? And then I made a bigger one that you could color, and then it has a word search in the back, and the kids have to finish the story. So I finished my craft for Weird Wednesday. It's the beginning. You have to tune in to the rest of the show to see how that comes out.
I just want to throw out there, we have a bunch. So Josh, of course, kicked it off. We have Tim Yoke with us right now. Heidi Staven Carpenter.
Oh, Heidi. Yes. So Heidi makes these. I'm glad she's here.
That's great.
These are lolly pins. Aren't they great?
Yes.
No, what I do is she sends me. Oh, you got one too? Now, does yours have the teeth and the candy necklace?
Mine does. I think I have one of the original ones then.
Yeah. So she sends them. She just makes them. This is a poker chip. And then this is the end of a glove. And then when she sends them to me, I add the candy necklaces and the teeth. And we sell these at Bazaar Brunch, which right now is a rare mug that has a granny dot in it. Cheers. With your grandma's. And cheers. And then it also has Jay Fosgate did a drawing of Lolly and I. Can you see it? Is it glaring?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. No, it's very nice.
That's great.
Fantastic work.
So, yeah. So I support the artists. But Heidi, hi, Heidi. I got my Lolly.
Heidi wants to know if you need more.
I do.
Well,
I actually do. And I was going to reach out to her and say, can you make me as many as possible? I meant to look for a bunch of white little mitten gloves, white gloves to send her. So, yes, please.
Yes,
no, you can spare.
And Tim, yes, that's your comment box on the side. And also that we gave him a shout out already, but please welcome in. Smig is on with us too. So he's here watching us. So
Smig's art right there. Lolly with her mouth filled with candy. Diana Lido. I also have Caleb's, actually your son.
My son.
This one is not Lolly. This is like, try to keep him up. This is Mike's son.
Yes, that's mine.
So this is me and Abby.
And
this, the newest member of Sesame Street, you know, Violet.
yes.
Yes.
She plays Charlie. She did this.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that great?
That was really, really good.
Yeah, I love her. I think she's one of the such a bright spot for Sesame. She's so wonderful.
Well, you know, and definitely, I just wanted to say that. I mean, seeing her, they haven't had a regular kid as a cast member in quite some time. So
no, yeah, there's been lots of evolutions. So I saw the screen. Oh, that's Nigel. We're good.
I can bring it back up.
Nigel is Lolly's tech pug, and he's gotten really popular. He's been helping us a lot with the J Fun play dates. Once a month, we do play dates with the J Fun, and that is a great organization. It's started by Tom Coughlin, a former coach of the New York Giants, and he founded it in the name of one of his players who I believe lost his battle with cancer, but it's for families that are battling, you know, illnesses, and their kids get diagnosed, and all of a sudden, what do? Well, the J Fund helps them. They help them find fundings. They help them, you know, they support them in any way possible, you know, even if it's starting a GoFundMe campaign or helping them find the funds or whatever those needs are. So lots of shout outs here.
So, I mean, I guess the one thing is we've covered, you have covered so much here in the beginning of our chat. So for those of you who are watching our IncrediChats, and I know we have a lot of fans of Leslie's here, we have some questions.
I'm a fan of Michael as well, Michael Grassia.
Thank you. I appreciate that plug.
Get in tune.
That is my the postcard she's holding is actually the app I have that teaches storytelling through the comic strip method. And
yes. I'm gonna. Lolly wants to have you on her show one day.
Yeah, I definitely want to. Go on getintune.net and you will you can find out more about the app, download free stuff. There's bookmarks on there.
Oh, I've been making bookmarks too.
So we have our first question, and we want to say hi to a couple of other people that joined us here. Rich Carrozza joined us. Lance Falk, who was with us last week, a great artist from California. Carly Hudson, who is
part of California.
LA. He knows Diana. Him and Diana are good friends.
Oh, Diana's ready she's going to have her baby any minute.
I invited her tonight. Carly Hudson, her and her family are fans of Sesame Street, which then leads to a question from Tim Yoke. And I guess we'll expand on Tim. He wants to know, how many years have you been on Sesame Street? But let's embellish. I guess, how did you get to Sesame Street? For everybody who doesn't know, Leslie will tell you what she does on Sesame Street and how she got there. It's a good place to start, I guess.
Oh, wow. That's a lot. Well, I've been on as Abby. I think it's now 15 years.
Wow.
Or because the seasons are like a year behind. But I was actually on Sesame Street before I was on as Abby. I did a show called Sesame Beginnings.
Yes.
And I played Prairie Dawn's mother, Delta Dawn. I got to name her Dee Dee, but don't call me Double D. Oh, God. I just love her.
And so I did that, but then I got asked to do the pilot. Like, they had a pilot, and Kevin Clash gave me a chance at the time to do, I was very briefly, Cookie Monster's mom in the pilot. And then they were just trying it out. And then when we had auditions for the different moms, and I was very excited because one, I just love Fran Brill. She just is amazing. And so it was funny that I was playing Fran Brill's mom. And then when we had the call back but we had such chemistry. I think it's just that she's so funny and she's such a brilliant actress. And, you know, I came to puppetry through theater, and I'm not your typical way of, that, I mean, everybody has their own journey. So, but when I got called back for Abby, and they had auditions all over the country, and they just sent AM Muppets, which is the anything Muppets, AMs, everywhere, and they sent the sides, for the script for you to read and a song, and then people just sent that in, and then they had callbacks, and then I didn't even see Abby until the day of my callback, and and in fact, one of her arms wasn't finished; it was foam; it wasn't covered. But we, Sonia Manzano was there, and I was starstruck, and so I had a scene with her, and then Zoe and Abby were on, and Kevin later sent me my audition tape, and we improv for 20 minutes easily. We were just going back and forth like crazy. Our arms, I don't even know how we had our arms up. So long story short, so I've been on 15 years. I've done, different characters. I do a lot of outreach characters. Lily, who was dealing with food insecurity, which is another way to say, hunger, I think, and homelessness and different things like that. She's gone there. I've done Jessie, who deals with loss, which was an honor for me to do and also relate to it, because I had a loss in my family when I was 11. I lost my brother in a motorcycle accident. I didn't lose him. He got his wings. But being able to be in touch and be authentic with what it feels like. And, Sesame does so many amazing things where, the show was so important to me growing up, because I felt I just learned differently. I think what most artists do. I'm slightly dyslexic, so reading was always a challenge for me. My dad was an artist and a teacher, so I had lots of arts. And so when I saw Sesame Street as a young child, I could relate, because that's what it was like for me at home, playing and creating characters. And I was like, ah. So, but as far as Sesame Street, I will say that I auditioned to be on the show, but my first experience with television puppetry was Muppets Tonight. And I didn't have any experience with television puppetry. I thought I was going to be fired on a daily basis, but I had an HBO Workspace show, and at that time I was writing comedy and doing characters, and did a lot of heavy theater, like Search for Signs of Intelligent Life, in the Universe, Parallel Lives. I did that with Paula Pell, which is the Kathy and Mo show. So it was a lot of that stuff, and then a lot of theater like Sweeney Todd and Chorus Line and Pump Boys and Dinettes and Little Shop. So I came from a theater background, but I also worked after school programs, doing a lot of the same things I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Outreach, Kids at Risk, my degree, child development through the arts.
The one
long answer, huh?
No, it was a great answer. We just wanted to say hello to Owen Lucas. Emilio Velez Jr. says hello.
Emilio, mwah, mwah. Oh my gosh. Well, you're definitely in the fan art gallery on Lolly's page. I don't have it within arm's reach, but Emilio is amazing. In fact, I have some of his buttons.
Oh, the Dodge.
Wearing them.
Yeah. The one other area that I know we don't talk about much, but because I know you said the HBO Workspace and some of your stuff out in LA. You were down in Florida for a while too, down at Disney. What were you doing down at Disney? Because I know you had a lot of stuff going on down there too.
Yeah, I did. Well, I actually was. It was so funny because I did a show actually that just closed. It was the longest running cabaret in theater history, the Beach Blanket Babylon.
Mm-hmm.
I played Dorothy and Madonna. Whatever. I still have ruby slippers wherever I go. But, and someone from the Disney company came and said they were looking for something to put in on this show, on this place called Pleasure Island.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And they had different themed restaurants. There was like a comedy club, there was a country western club, there was a disco, and there was this really cool place called the Adventures Club, which looked like a game of Clue, but it was a 1930s and 40s social club. Anyway, I was going to go in originally into Comedy Warehouse and just do comedy for families, do the kind of stuff I'd been doing in schools and in my hometown. But they ended up putting me in the Adventures Club. But somebody saw me in Beach Blanket Babylon and asked me to audition, and I did. Of course, in between that time, I rolled my truck and skid 80 feet upside down and totaled it and walked away going, I've never been anywhere besides my hometown. And I thought, I think I'm going to go to Disney World. You know, I was very lucky. There's like a lot. So that was like, I guess I should maybe try this. So then from Disney, I got cast in the Adventures Club, which was awesome. And I'm super dear friends from that, because it was like, we would improv from 7 o'clock at night till 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, in character, improvising, and with no modern day references. So all of our improv had to do with relationships. In fact, oh my gosh, Mike, you know, my friend Darren DePaul.
Yes, Darren.
Let him know he's here. We're here. I'll have him tune in. Darren, my friend Darren DePaul, we used to stay out on the floor all the time improvising. And our cast members would like, come in there, come inside, take a break. And we're like, no. But he's like this superstar voiceover artist.
Yeah, he was in the Spider-Man game that was
yes.
Yeah. He's J. Jonah Jameson.
Stuff in Star Wars. I mean, he's like Darren DePaul, people. But he's also Mailman Joe in Lolly's Radio Playdate Camp Blart. Is that backwards?
It's upside down.
Great. Lolly's Radio Playdate. But also
this colored seltzer.
While you were down at Disney, so because you had like I know you told me you had like a workspace down in Disney as well too. And then you did a couple. Wasn't there like a workspace or something you were doing?
No, well at Disney, no. I just worked at for the Disney company. Did the Hoop-Dee-Doo review. They would pull me out whenever there were special events, and I would create characters. I was Cookie the Elf, so I would do storytelling in the Disney marketplace. But then I left, and I was teaching drama locally. Okay. And then I did. That's when I did. Got around. It was the Orlando Civic Theater at the time, Orlando Rep, and that's when I did Parallel Lives. And then they commissioned me to write a show called Life in Other People's Shoes. Okay. That I did, I did Search for Signs and Intelligent Life, and then I did that other one. So I was supported by the theater there.
Because you also did Mickey Mouse Club. You were on there for a little bit of. And guys, you can Google it. It's hilarious because Leslie always jokes about this. You were mom to who? Christina Aguilera and
Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, and Christina Aguilera. Yeah, they never sent me anything for Mother's Day. I was in the Frady bunch. I played Carol Frady. Uh-huh. And then Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears, it was a liquid meat commercial called Velmeeta. I was also in the Adventures of Mary-Kate and Ashley in SeaWorld.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah. I played Mrs. Torres, their babysitter.
I'm going to have to look at that one now, too.
Yeah. The director came into my cabaret because I would play this maid, Dusty Cabinets, was my maid's name, sanitation technician. And sometimes I would dress up like a cow and sing Bessie the Heifer and squirt people in the audience with my udders. And then, but I would do the Wizard of Oz in like 2 minutes. I would do my trick. And so they asked me to be in the movie. They said, we're shooting a movie this week. Can you come do that? Tell a story. Can you do the Wizard of Oz? I'm like, not unless you have the rights to it. So yeah, that movie, they never gave me a script or anything. They just, really? No, they even I waited all day. Wardrobe. The makeup lady said, I had no idea they were going to be so close. I'm like,
that's funny. That's hilarious.
That was an improv. Yeah, they're little.
And they used to churn those out like crazy too. So I believe that Like the case that there was no script, because at the time I was working at a Suncoast, and like every month there was a new Mary Kate and Ashley video.
Well, they had a script, but they just didn't have. They had said, "You say whatever you want here." They'll say something, and then you say whatever you want here, and then they'll say something. I'm like,
just be cute, right? That's great. And then another Disney show that you worked on too. And where did this fall into it? Johnny and the Sprites.
Okay. So let me see if I can do this. Can you guys see? I should have turned the fairy lights on. Maybe I'll do that right now. Turning the fairy lights on. This will kind of help. Can you see that? Can you see Ginger?
Hold on, let's bring you in again.
See it in the background there.
Can you see Ginger Sprite?
You just got to put the camera up a little bit. The picture, right? We're looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ginger and Basil. Tim Lukoski, Basil. And then right there, this right here is Ginger's helmet. That is now a fairy home.
Oh, wow.
I made that purple tree recently. But yeah, I should turn the fairy lights on for everybody. There we go. Isn't that magical?
And that's one of those shows that everybody is like killing Disney Plus for. Like they want bring Johnny and the Sprites on.
Please write letters, because I'm telling you guys, I love that show. And that was, oh my gosh. Well, Tim played Basil. Mm-hmm. And I played Ginger. And Ginger was so great. I mean, I love that puppet. Her feelers up and down. Jim Krupa did all the mechs. Mm-hmm. He's amazing. And so she got a lot of, like, her eyelids were half, she moved little eyelids. She had different sets of wings. Heather Ash, my buddy Heather. Haley's wonderful. You should have Heather on your show. She's fabulous. She played Root. And then Carmen Osbar did Lily. She was brilliant as usual. She's so brilliant. And then and many others, like Jim Krupa, Jim Barnhart. There's Lara McLean. Oh, that's another. If you want a puppet person, she's a great interview. So many. I know I'm gonna forget. Oh, and then John Tartaglia.
Let's say, don't forget him.
He's awesome. He's like my buddy pal. So, yeah. In fact, we kind of say, like, yeah, are there any questions about Johnny and the Sprites? Please write to me.
Well, yeah, and I mean, we got a couple of comments here. Scott Shirtle says, we love Johnny and the Sprites. Allison Taylor says we love it too. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of folks that have commented on that.
Well, the composers who wrote Dear Evan Hansen.
They wrote the music for that. They
wrote a lot of the different music. Gary Adler was the musical director. Mike Patrick Walker. I think I said that right. 3. But, so many talented composers. I think even, I don't know if Jason Robert Brown, I know he wrote a song for Elmo the Musical, because we wrote a noir thing, and I was so excited because I got to sing that, But Johnny and the Sprites, like Donna Drake is a choreographer, and she choreographed everything. I mean, we really spent a lot of time learning choreography and blocking things out, and Bill Berner did the lighting. Sean Harkins and Havens, I get them so mixed up. Havens, Harkins. It was all shot on this jib camera, and it was shot like a movie. It was beautiful.
And they did that down in Orlando as well, right? At the studio. No, that wasn't at the Disney's.
No, that was at Kaufman Studios. So there was a time where you're thinking of Animal Jam.
Okay.
Animal Jam. That was Ricky Boyd. He played Waffle. You guys got to have Ricky on, because he's got a ton of stories with Jim Henson too, and he's a great interview and a storyteller. That was Johnny T, myself, Allison Mork, John Kennedy, Andy. Oh my gosh, Andy's gonna kill me for not knowing his last name. I just called him Andy, but Andy. It'll come to me. But that was for the Henson Company, and I played a zebra, Edie.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Allison was talking about going back to the music. Allison Taylor said there's great music on that show.
Beautiful.
Josh Hankmeyer, he said he met Carmen once. She's a sweet lady. Yeah, I met her once too. I met her when Leslie had us at Sesame, and that was very nice woman.
Sorry, you're getting a close up of my corgi. I'm trying to find pictures. I usually have a little. I don't know where it is.
I'm just going through the things. We have DJ Bob, another good friend of ours, and you need to do DJ Bob's show at some point too, Leslie. So DJ Bob wants. He said all of Johnny and the Sprites is available on iTunes.
Oh, is it?
I guess you can buy it on iTunes, but it should be on Disney Plus. So
I know we had a DVD. I know it. They should. They should.
But he has a question for you. He wants to know, what's a television show that you wish you were on, or puppet related that you were a fan of?
Amy Sedaris is. I feel like we might be twins. I'll do some crafts. I honestly, I feel like she's like got my dream show. If Carol Burnett did another show, a show that I wish I could be on. Can you ask the question again? There's so many different.
Right. So he's like, what is a television show that you wish you were on, puppet related, and in comma puppet related that you were a fan of? So I mean, I guess
puppet related. Okay. Okay. Oh golly. Oh, that's tricky. I don't know. I had a good time on Helpsters. I got to be on just for one day. I thought it was such a quirky, fun show, and I got to play Hart's mother. And it was just a one-off. It was a character just written for that, but it was such a fun character. I hope if it comes back, I'd like to come back and maybe do some more incidental characters. I feel like when you watch people that are get magically cast in shows, I just love watching them work. So but I can't think.
Maybe Carol Burnett would be a great fit for you.
Yeah.
I love her. I made her a pipe cleaner version of herself in the drapes.
Yes. Do you have a picture of that? Or maybe Grazia can find one.
Grazia can find one. I am starting another Carol Burnett.
All right.
But my next pipe cleaner is a surprise. Where did it go?
Hold on, let me pull up the screen for you here.
While you're looking for that, Leslie, another fan, and we'll get to Joe's question in a second. Another fan. I don't know if you've met this young man. His name is, and please forgive me. I'm gonna mispronounce your name. I hope I don't. But I met this young man at a convention. Oh, look at her.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I started it, but I never finished it. I think not that I totally have time. Okay, go on.
That's amazing. So his name is Sergine.
Yes.
Yes, you know him, the young man, right?
Yeah. Spain? No.
No, Nyasi. And I met him at Terrificon actually a couple of years ago. But he wanted to mention that you were also Peg Puppy from Tough Puppy along with Rob Paulson.
I was going to ask you about that.
That was what can I just tell you how much I love doing her. She was fabulous. I just threw this voice in because I thought, what the heck? And it was great. I'll have a Cruella. I'd rather have a Blintz. I love her. She's one of my favorites. Yeah, why can't that be a puppet show?
It was a great part.
And plus, of course, I love anything Muppet related. If the Muppets asked me to play, I wouldn't say no.
Victor Romero says he loves Tough Puppy as well. So we have Joe Ryan, who's a regular fan of ours and tunes in. He has a question for you. And as an artist, and you can talk from your art, from your puppetry stuff. He's a graduate of the Kubert School, and he wants to break into the entertainment industry. So if he wants any feedback for animation, film, and throw in puppetry there, what's somebody who's interested in this career path, what they can do from your...
Well, a career path for animation or a career path for puppetry?
Well, I mean,
I was going to say visual entertainment if you want.
Yeah. You do it all.
Yeah, whatever your experience is.
Wow. Well, you know what? There's so many different levels. There's like, if well, obviously a puppeteer is that's if it's a path of a performer, you know, if he's a performer, then you need to create characters. You know, I think that even as an artist, it helps you to create characters. Don't you think, you guys?
Absolutely.
Because, you know, I mean, you see all the greats and everything, and they are acting everything out. So I would say, you know, what you would do, it's great if you could draw other characters, but if you create your own characters and start getting to know them and finding layers and writing for them, that's when I find that if you go in for an interview, people want you to develop your style. And I remember my dad was an artist, and I'd say, oh, everything looks like a frog and everything looks the same. And he goes, be glad that you have your own style.
Yeah.
You know, and finding your own style is really, you know, I'm a huge fan. I went to high school with Tony Facilli. Okay. So when we were in high school, the girls are like, oh, Tony Facilli, he's so quiet. And he's drawing these amazing characters. And now, you know, Iron Giant is one of my husband and I's favorite movies ever. He did the character design for that, for The Incredibles, which, oh my gosh, I could just plug everybody here. I have so many things. But I think, and now, you know, Tony is doing his own illustrations and his books and stuff. So I would say find a character that you've created that you think is wonderful and maybe write a story for it. And maybe like animate a book. Like I'm in the middle of wanting to do a kid's book. And it's just based on my pipe cleaner stuff. But I think once you do that, then you go into this world and say, look, I love to tell stories. So anything you could do to become a great storyteller and build your bevy of characters, I think is going to help you. I think.
No, I think that's great advice. I think that because
there's so many artists, right?
Yeah, and the job, whether you're animating, whether you're drawing a comic, whatever it is, you're a storyteller. You know,
right.
and that's, you know, for myself, I go by cartoonist, illustrator, graphic designer, whatever the job is. But at the end of the day, I consider myself a storyteller.
I just bought a comic book from Terry Block, and I know his work as an artist. But he was the writer on this book.
Oh wow! Dead weight. Who's hold on, I'm trying. Let me
do.
No, let me bring the screen up for you so I can read it better.
Yeah, now we can.
Terry Blas.
Terry Blas, Molly Muldoon, Matthew Seeley, Dead weight.
Yeah.
Now he wrote the story, but somebody else did, of course, the inking and the other stuff. But, you know, I didn't know he was, like, when I bought it, I was so naive. I was like, oh, I love his work. And I was like, wait, he wrote this.
Yeah.
And it's really good. And I just got that. So I would definitely be the best storyteller you can.
Nice. We just want to say hi. A couple other people have been joining us here. We have our buddy Tim Bendig is with us tonight. I don't know if you know Tim, Leslie. I know you met him. He was the one that was with Carol and Debbie, and he helped them out at the different conventions.
Yes.
Yes. So
lovely person.
And also Greg Berg is watching right now. Greg Berg was the voice of Fozzie Bear on the original Muppet Babies, the animated.
Wow.
You guys.
A friend of ours. He came and did our show back.
I'm fans of your fans.
So Tim Yoke wants to know, and I guess obviously not for 2020, but you've done this before. Have you considered a panel at DragonCon in 2021?
Oh, I would love to. I say yes to everything, which is why I have so much stuff going on. But yeah, absolutely. DragonCon is crazy. I did. I usually do the puppet track, and then my husband a while back did the band track with his group Glank. It makes instruments out of liquid propane tanks and metal gears and saw blades. And my husband really likes to cosplay Deadpool. And he does it with his friend Chris Sazzano, and they call themselves the Deadpool duo. And so the Comic-Con, and I did Sir Didymus because they were doing a labyrinth cosplay at the Center for Puppetry Arts. And so it was funny. It was Sir Didymus, Lolly played Ambrosia, and Deadpool.
I remember you shared one funny story, and you and I have like another funny story about this because when you were with me, I picked up the picture, but you told me when you were at Dragon Con, you were on stage and you're like, heard all this commotion coming from the thing behind you, and you opened up the curtain and it was Nathan Fillion.
We were setting up for Paul's show because he had all these musicians and he had like 2,000 pounds worth of metal saw blades and all this stuff. And yes, and it was great because I was like sneaking from the side, and it was hilarious. Yeah, twice.
It happened twice.
I was in the same room when we were setting up the band. I was like, it was all I could do from not rushing the stage.
And because I remember when I met him at New York Comic Con, you were with me too, so we were joking about that too years ago. So you have a couple more questions coming in here now too.
Wait, but Michael, stop talking, Michael Grassia.
Well, I'll come later. I actually want to ask you about some of your art stuff, and we had a question about your. I forgot who said it's a little further up about your pipe cleaner art.
That's what I was going to. It was Josh. You wanted to know how long does it take to make your pipe cleaner sculptures? Your Rosanna Dan is one of my favorites. It's amazing.
Oh, that one. Well, he knows that one. This one I actually obsessed from. I think the little ball of lint fell out. This I made for Ryan Dillon. It was for his big birthday, and I said, hey, I just need to borrow it to do a stop motion before I give it back to you. And that was like 2 years ago. This one I obsessed over, and I should probably take I had a hard time because I could only find pictures of her from the waist up. And so I was looking to try to find if she was wearing pants or shoes. So she's a little knock-kneed. But this was a lot of work. And sometimes, there's times where I think Bette Midler, I put eyes on her. Cheetah, most times their eyes are closed if they're singing. It's weird when you put eyes on them. But yeah, this is a special type of pipe cleaner. Mm-hmm. So this takes a long time because it's actually, trying to find just the right face, like cheeks and nose. This took me, I want to at least 20 hours. But sometimes what happens is that the face takes like 5.
Wow.
Or 6 because I'm obsessing over it. And Telly Monster, I was so glad I don't have that. I picked Marty for Secret Santa, and I was super excited. But it took me a long time just to find the right colors for Telly Monster because their pipe cleaners come in different shades and stuff. So it took me almost a year to collect the pipe cleaners to make a Telly. So caricatures take at least 20 to 30 hours. And then I go back and forth.
All right. Well, let me ask you, why pipe cleaner art, though? What got you into making pipe cleaner figures? Because I know a couple of people who do it, but it's not common to me, at least,
Here's what happened. Okay, so I'm going to take Diana's picture down for a second. So and this will be a show one day. Somebody will find this footage, and it'll be hilarious. So we were doing Elmo the Musical, and I played Velvet the Curtain that drops down and talks to Elmo. Oh, Elmo, what is on the plan for today? It's just kind of like a cross between Hermione Gingle and Harry Carey. Anyway, so Kevin insisted that I sit on set and the lines instead of pre-record them, and I was like, and it's hard for me to sit still. I think it's pretty obvious. So so I'm like, okay, well, I'll sit still, but I got to do something. And not only did I have to sit still, but they had a camera pointing at my face. Because Ricky Boyd wanted to watch my facial expressions while I was doing the curtain. And so So I was like, oh my God. So there was a camera, there was a chair, a camera pointed at my face, and then people would come by. I'm like, welcome to my show. I'm here with Pam Arciero. Thanks for stopping by, And so then about the same time, I was writing a show called Wake Up You're Weird. And in that show, for some reason, Lolly has pink monkeys. Lolly started collecting pink monkeys. I don't know why. Just a lot of people started giving me pink monkeys. Okay. And so they became an integral part. And I needed to raise money for the show. And someone said, do like if you give a certain amount of money, they get something. And so I'm like, oh, well, why don't I give them a pink monkey? I have all these hours that I'm going to be sitting in a chair. So I started twisting pink monkeys. But then I started making pink monkeys. And then I made a Yeti. Or then someone will come up and say, can you make this? And I'm like, sure. Why not? So then people would just come up and ask me to make stuff. And I would make things. I made a dragon. Mm-hmm. This one is actually spoken for. This was for a fundraiser.
Wow. That's very nice.
A shadow puppet of Lolly.
That's great.
But this is my dragon Fearless. She has.
It looks like a doll too.
Yeah.
And so that's all pipe cleaners except for I cheated. Mm-hmm. I used paint for the little white spot.
Oh,
okay. That's
Sometimes
fine.
They have all different things.
But let me ask: do you have to do you like? Is there any cutting of? I mean, you must be cutting like pieces of pipe cleaner too, right? So, like
I cut it, but then I also trim it with these little tiny scissors. These little berry scissors. I don't know if I have them here, but just put them back. And then and like I said, this one. Well, you saw Granny Dot, you saw Lolly. So yeah, pipe cleaner. She's filthy like Lolly is. She's the pipe cleaner. Sometimes I'll trim it, so they're not so fuzzy.
Yeah, but I mean, you also shorten them too, right? Like obviously.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
And it looks like you have a whole closet there devoted to pipe cleaners.
Oh my gosh, it's so disturbing. I know. I'm going to show you from my night before Howl-O-Scream. I'm pretty proud of her.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, she came out, and she's just one little page. Swamp Thing is a work in progress.
Oh, that's awesome too. I love it.
Oh, his eyes all messed up. His eyes all messed up. Sorry about that.
It's okay. It's a gorgeous piece there.
I mean, it's showing in the well, Tim Yoko, your pipe cleaners are trying to escape there, but I mean, everybody is like saying, "Oh my God,
yeah, this is a problem."
And yeah, everybody is impressed with the pipe cleaner artwork. I mean, you do amazing.
It's a problem. This little cabinet is like the best. This is my character, Madame Velveta, and this was hard because in the she wears skeleton jammies, so I had to make her some skeleton jammies in the book. Yeah, I think I want to just maybe even just do an alphabet book of pipe cleaners.
And you said you do stop motion with these sometimes?
I do. This guy was in Lolly's little Christmas special. He has a quick little, she's looking for a tree, a bunch of different trees. And she goes looking with Granny Dot and her Sasquatch Gordon. And he's just in the background. He just waves. That's it.
Great.
He's fun. He's solid pipe cleaners, you guys.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you build an armature first in that, or you just go straight in with the pipe cleaners, huh?
Sometimes I try to, but I end up smashing them together, and they end up like this thing. Nothing. This ain't moving.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear that.
Yeah, he's pretty solid.
Horror activists, don't be upset with me.
And can they find these like on YouTube or your Facebook page or Instagram or something?
Yes, they're so good. You guys are so good. This, I'm hoping to have this book. I have a lot to go. I have a checklist, actually. Look at this, you guys. This is my checklist.
Wow.
and I'm hoping, because we've been in quarantine, that I'll be able to have it. You can, it's Lolly's Twisted Tales are the pipe cleaner little shorts, and I just do them on my phone. You know, I'm learning.
No.
And then, but on my website, LeslieCarraraRudolph.com, we have a little button now. My friend Ryan Rowe, he's fantastic. He's helping me with, like, he's amazing. And you push on Lolly's World, and that's all things Lolly. And then, and I also want to give a shout out that a lot of this encouragement in the Lolly's World stuff is because my writing partner, Jamie Don Moyer. Like, I write wonderful, weird, whimsical stories that fall out of my head, but Jamie makes them make sense. She's so good with story, and she's like, she encouraged me to start writing the podcasts. She said that, like, there's really nothing for kids. There's nothing on the radio or podcast for kids. So we started writing these stories. And I think we're going to do a summer camp based on this camp series, Jamie and I.
Oh, that's great.
She has great ideas. And I just, you know, she's an enabler and an instigator.
You mentioned the quarantine, and I just want to mention one of the things that Victor Romero said here. He said, my folks and I learned a lot from the Sesame Street CNN town hall. Thanks for lending your voice for Abby. We love her. So, I mean, maybe you want to talk a little bit about what you guys have been doing during all this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've never been more honored and proud to be a part of Sesame Street right now. I mean, a lot of the times we do a lot of work through outreach, and it's called Sesame and Communities. So, and you know, Mike, you know about that. Like, a lot of the different things that are available are on us, not necessarily on the show, but we've done some really great content. And I'm so, like, I think it's amazing that CNN partnered and said, let's get this word out on a global, like let's help kids through this. So the first one that we did about the virus was really educational. Like, kids were asking questions I wanted to know. And then the one that just aired on Saturday, we had actually done, that was supposed to run 2 weeks ago. But when they decided, like, we need to step in and stop racism, like, this has got to stop. And so I love that Abby, when the script comes in and they're really thoughtful and they really know the characters, that they were able to reference a time where it was when Big Bird was being bullied and stuff. And that Abby moment, I'm crying just thinking about it. My husband and I, after I just went through it, I thought, well, let me just get through it. And then they ended up just taking it. And I'm like, oh, okay, we got that. And, but we were just crying afterwards, because it was just like, please stop, please be loving, please. I will, she's so, yeah. And everybody does such a great job. The whole team, Carmen, Ryan, Tyler, David, Frankie, Cordero. Frankie Cordero plays Abby's little brother, and we've done a lot together and stuff. And so everybody does. Matt Vogel, all of them, Eric, Peter, Jen, just, I know when I start listing people, I always get emotional and I forget someone. So sorry if I did.
No, I mean, I think that, I mean, just the work that you guys are doing, the fact that whether it was they shipped it to you guys or you guys went to go pick them all up, however it was that you guys have all of your friends at home with you.
Oh, well, I actually, it was right after it was right after Broadway shut down, and I was able to pick mine up because I live in Queens, and they shipped them out to everyone. But they went through so much. They were cleaning everything out, and Abby hugs everybody on set, so she probably really needed to be clean. And Ryan's doing such great work. So
yeah, I'm just looking through the questions here. You have anything while I'm looking through these questions, Ross?
Not much yet. I mean, I was, I'm always interested more in the art side. That's why I was kind of quiet most of the time. So, and also some of the stories I haven't heard, so it was nice to hear. But I actually, yeah, that's actually something I love talking about. I think that's the one I have. It's in one of my drawers on the other side.
Yeah, this was the second version.
Yeah,
and that you can see so that's Madame Velveeta, who I do in my show. And oh yeah, I made the mom.
Mm-hmm.
So usually sometimes, okay, stop biting. Kind of close to what the mummy will look like.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking I'm going to try to turn this into a song. Like David Redmond says, this would be a good song. So since my husband is a composer. So yeah, so this is what I'm going to turn into Pipe Cleaner. I've made the rabid, bloodthirsty mouse. I made the bats.
Mm-hmm.
And that looks nothing like the Wolfman, and that looks nothing like the Bride, but still.
But I like your Pipe Cleaner versions of them, though.
Me too. Yeah, this is just a coloring book.
Things, as they develop, things change constantly, so it's okay that they look a little different. And we were talking a little bit about this through text. You're actually going to be photographing these pipe cleaners for the children's book, so it's going to be, like, I don't want to call it live action, but real imagery, not drawn anything over. Are you building the sets to it too, or you?
Yeah, well.
Okay.
I haven't figured that out yet because, I took the werewolf looks so great. I started doing this thing called Werewolf Wednesday, and I was just taking them. They look so good in the natural environment. I'm going to show you another pipe cleaner, which is insane. There's another story that I wrote called Beatrice Fennelbulb, and this was a story I wrote for kids that were in hospitals. The kids that something happens to them and they say, why me? It's actually a song that I wrote. It started as a poem and then it turned into a song, and then I did her as a painting, and then I thought, I'm going to make her as a pipe cleaner. So I have another book that I want to do, but I recorded the song. So I think I might try her in an environment. For if I do stop motion, I'm going to have to make the sets. I don't think the sets are going to be pipe cleaner because I'll pick and choose what to make pipe cleaner because I want things to pop, but also I don't think I have it in me. But I do have a dream to do the Macy's windows all in pipe cleaner.
Oh,
or at least one.
That'd be cool. I know in some of your other photos. Cool. Sorry, it was a little skip. Wow, that's amazing.
That is good stuff.
So originally, I was gonna sing the song, Beatrice Fennelbulb.
But it's a really heavy and uncomfortable puppet.
I could imagine, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, she came out nice.
Yeah. Wow.
So, and these are I think those are ponytail holders or something. Those little.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I think pipe cleaners like sculpting. I've always liked sculpting. When I was in school, I always liked, worked with Sculpey, but I also worked, people probably don't know this. When I was in college, I worked with this at Pat's Pots, and they made little jars that said ashes of old lovers or boogers or old farts, really classy things. And they were but they also made these little critters called plant pets that would sit on the corner of a pot. Did you ever see those little ceramic critters?
I've seen
the
flower pot
on the side of a pot. So me and these two other ladies used to sit all day and make, those things. But I always loved ceramics, and I was always big into sculpture. So pipe cleaner's nice. I don't have a kiln. I don't have clay. So.
That's fine. Just looking here at a couple of the questions. Somebody wanted to know, I'm Tough Puppy. Did you get to work with Rob Paulson, Jeff Bennett, Gray Delisle, or Darren Norris, or Butch Hartman?
I did. Only for 2 shows.
Mhm.
Because Peg wasn't in there. This was so frustrating because it's hard to. There's so many talented people in Los Angeles in animation, and usually once you get in, you're like called back again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the first time I was on a Nickelodeon show.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in Florida, it was always between me and D. Baker for animal noises. He always won. Anyway, so sorry, New Heart. But yes, I did. And it was awesome. So they were all in, my husband's making soup.
Or music.
He's a percussionist, so he's making it. Anyway, so the very first day, the very first episode, they were all in the room. They were all recording at different mics. And I was in like this little booth. And they were all there. I was so intimidated. They're so awesome. And you can imagine, like, they're nonstop. They do 8 million impressions. They can, you know, you've seen them when they read and everything.
Yeah.
And I just had one line. I only had like 3 lines at the end. So I'm just sitting in the back and I'm like, where's my baby? And that was just it or something. And they just looked at me because I'm sitting there like, I don't think they expected that to come out of me. But then I ended up getting Sesame Street, and so I was in New York, and I worked with Butch Hartman mostly in a booth in New York for a couple episodes, but I didn't get to be in the room with those people anymore.
Okay.
Cool. There's a lot of requests too about people are surprised. I don't know if it's bedtime, but Josh said maybe this person's raiding a cookie jar while nobody's looking. You know, I don't know if Lolly's around.
Oh, let me see where she is. Oh my gosh, she's right here.
Is she sneaking some snacks?
Well, if Paul has vegetables out, she's nowhere to be found. Lolly.
I am working on my weird Wednesday. Wait a second. Oh my gosh. Why is my neck? Okay. Wait a second. Okay, you. Whatever. Hi.
Hey,
I don't like to share the screen with Leslie. I like it to be about me. You see, I got my pride on
very
here.
nice.
Yeah.
The necklace.
Yeah.
Oh, my candy necklace. I know. Isn't that nice how it works out?
Do you
How
have
you
a
guys
candy?
doing? You know.
Did you have candy too?
What?
Is there candy in your headband too? I can't tell because you're.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
The top part is pipe cleaners. You know why? Because Leslie upgraded me a bit when we did our show Moonlight Madness.
Mm-hmm.
I played a candy queen, so I demanded more candy jewels. Do people have questions for me?
Yeah, everybody ask your questions for Lolly. John. Somebody wants to know, Lolly, do you love Hanna-Barbera?
I do. Who doesn't?
Makes it
Why, you have a picnic basket? Full of candy?
And Smig says, hello, Miss Sugar Rush.
Hi, Smig. Smig knows me. Boy, him and Josh, those two, it's like, you know, I mean, if I get tired of Leslie writing for me, those two can write for me. They know me. They know I bleed frosting.
Yeah. Is that healthy if you have frosting going through your veins? That's a little...
I never said I was healthy, Mike.
Okay, well, you're saying you're bleeding.
I have a spoon of bacon. I have 4 teeth. They all have cavities in them. I think, you know, if I want to lead by example, this is what happens. You know? I'm pretty much, I'm pale, I'm filthy, I have no teeth, and I have no muscle.
But Josh says Lolly's probably a fan of Fruity and Cocoa Pebbles, too.
Oh, of course. Of course. You know what? Cocoa Pebbles and Rice Krispies are really good in chocolate ice cream. You should try it.
Sounds delicious. we got a question from, who's this? Bob Gerard Runkle.
It's DJ Bob.
Oh, DJ Bob. Sorry.
Hi, DJ Bob.
When did your obsession with Milano cookies begin? Which I was going to say is one of my favorite things I've ever seen from you.
When the bag opened. The waft came into me. It was like Pepe Le Pew. Like, oh. Ooh, I smell Milanos. So that would be that.
So let me ask this question though. So you have this obsession with Milanos. How does that affect your relationship with your buddy Phil?
Phil? Well,
Yeah.
Phil is not too bright. Where's Phil? Phil? Where are you, Phil? Phil? Yeah. Phil's lost part of his brains.
Poor Phil.
Yeah.
Did Lolly get to you?
Yeah. Oh, does she? Yeah. What can I say? Ugh. It's okay, Phil. You know?
Poor Phil. Oh, well, I definitely like Phil. It looks like you have like the right kind of grooves there on your top of your head that kind of matches somebody's mouth and teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I guess so. I kind of in a daze. All right, whatever, Phil. See what I mean? It's not too bright.
Poor
Maybe
Phil.
because he's left-handed. That's a deep one, puppeteers.
Smig says Phil's lobotomized. So, yeah, it might be.
Yeah, but he's fine. He's still fine. He's a cookie for the love of God. You know, it's not like if he swims in milk, he completely dissolves. So I've kept him around. I haven't dipped him.
Yeah.
I love how you said yet. I love
Maybe
it. I'm so clean.
you can convince him to take a bath in a cup of milk maybe later on.
I don't know. There's something charming about him, isn't it? I mean, I don't know what. Maybe it's because he makes me feel so intelligent.
So, Lolly, tell us a little bit.
Horrible. That's just horrible.
So, what's
Don't emulate me. Be nice to your cookies.
Well, I was going to ask you. So, you and Lolly are talking about this Weird Wednesday thing. So, do you want to tell everybody at home a little bit about what you guys are going to be doing on Weird Wednesdays?
Yeah, do you want to join me? Yeah, I'll join you for this one. Thanks, Lolly. Thanks for including me. Okay. Yeah. So, what it is, it's a test. Yeah, this is, I don't know why she came back. So, I really miss hanging out with my friends and everything. And Les and I, usually we like tour and we go to schools and we help kids, you know, to embrace their own individuality and creativity. And also, like, we've been hanging out on the J Fund, and there's so much going on in the world. Sometimes we just like to help kids think creatively. So if they have the tools they need to be creative or think about fun things they can do, then they can put their thoughts down creatively. Yeah, that's it. So it's just kind of like a hangout. You know, I might do some drawing. We might talk about crafts. We have a really great first special guest. Jim Napolitano is going to, I'm just going to tell you about it. He's going to do a little puppet show, and then he's going to show the kids how to make one. My friend Eric, all the way from California, has the most amazing collection. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you what it is. It's fantastic. Plus, he's a hilarious performer, a singer, a writer. He's hilarious. He's going to drop in. Granny Dot has a segment. Granny Dot, do you want to talk about it?
Oh.
You know I do. I absolutely want to talk about it. Of course, I'm still dealing with this thing in my eye. Hi there. I'm going to do a segment that's called The Alphabet of Music. And so I'm going to have a special guest instrument on. We did vibraphone for the J Fund, but that's not going to be on this one. We're going to have a special guest instrument, maybe two. Okay, that's what I want to say. All right. Thanks, guys. All right.
So it's kind of a family affair. So it's just going to be, I don't know, an experiment. The thing that's the experiment is Zoom. Like when we do these things, we're trying to find the balance between being entertaining and engaging. And, you know, now's the time to draw or now's the time to think. So we'll figure it out.
Well, no, and Grassia and I have talked about this, and this is kind of like why we do these IncrediChats too, because this time period, everybody's home, and you and I have talked about this too. There's going to be some amazing artwork, writing, music coming from this time period. Just everybody being in quarantine, all the different things that are going on in the world. You know, this time really lends itself to change.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think the arts are really balancing us. I mean, there's so many different, you know, you guys should follow Rob McClure on Instagram. He's been doing these conductor things, you know, where he was supposed to open with Mrs. Doubtfire, their talented cast and everything. He's a brilliant comedian. And he is doing these fun physical comedy things that are just really simple and trying to balance, you know, people are trying to bring,
Whoa. We lost her for a second.
Hopefully she'll come back in a moment.
Hope we didn't lose her.
Well, she didn't disappear.
I haven't touched the computer. Both hands are here.
Gruz.
It's not my fault. This time I didn't accidentally kick her off stream.
Oh, well, we'll just answer a couple of quick things. Yeah, and guys, we're gonna share that out. I know our friend Lee Starshine, who manages like all of our websites and stuff. We'll share that out with our newsletter and stuff. So if you haven't signed up for the IncrediCon newsletter, we're waiting for Leslie to come back. Definitely sign up for it. There's no spam or anything like that. Oh, jeez. Sorry.
Leslie?
Or anything. So sorry. Just it wasn't Leslie. There's no spam or anything. So sign up for that because we're going to be doing this on a regular basis. If you want to text her and see.
That's what I'm doing right
now. And Tim, yes, no, this is our pleasure. We like doing this. This is great. This is like going to. Tim says it's like going to a con panel, but without the long lines. And seriously, like that's the whole point of this whole IncrediChat. Like as you see, I have our there's data problems going on out there right now. I read about that too. And thank you, Noel McNeil, for liking all of our things too. Guys, go back and check some of the other things that we have out there. Lee just put up on there our IncrediConHV.com. You can see a lot of the past ones, or you just go onto the Facebook page and you'll see there's a lot of great panels and workshops that we have had on here. So that's the whole point of this is we're doing these panels. They're free. They're family friendly. So, I mean, you certainly can watch these with your kids and watch it with your family and see what's going on.
That's the text I just sent her. It's the group one we were on.
That was from you, not from Leslie.
Not from me.
But yeah, no. So make sure you follow us, share us out. As soon as the convention world is back and running again, is that oops or is that you or Leslie?
That's her.
Okay. So she'll just come back in a second. But yeah, no, definitely follow us, share us out because we want to we're going to continue doing these things. Even as society restarts, we do have more guest stars lined up too. So, I mean, there's a lot of great people out there and a lot of people who want to share their stories with you guys. So thank you everybody for who's tuned in so far. And if you just give it a couple more minutes, hopefully Leslie will be right back with us. She's trying to get back in here now. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with the data problems today. I saw T-Mobile was having issues and stuff like that. So guys, while we're waiting, if any questions about conventions or whatever, Grassia and I are here. We'll talk about that. Grassia is an artist. Talk to him about his big Dino behind you.
My big Dino behind me there. Actually, my cousin bought me that. We did it. He came to a show with me. I did out in Long Island, and it wasn't the best show, so I'm not going to mention the show. There was promises.
I thought she was back. I'm looking at a video. I'm bad.
There were promises made that didn't happen, and my cousin knows I'm a huge Hanna-Barbera fan. Love the Flintstones, and they had that. And if I made more money than I did, I would have purchased that on my own. So I want to shout out to my cousin Vincent. Thanks for
your cousin. But I'm pumped.
Okay.
Oh. Hey, Leslie's back. Cool. We were just entertaining everybody. Welcome back.
Sorry, guys. I was hearing a beep beep, and I guess it was my computer. I thought it was plugged in.
Well, like there's been connection. I guess there's a lot of cell phone issues or network issues.
Who's that? That is a Funko. I don't even know when that was released, but you know, it's one of my favorite pieces. I got tons all over the place, and just to quickly show, that's my Hanna-Barbera shelves right there.
Oh my gosh!
Funko Hanna-Barbera.
Do you have a favorite?
I have
a favorite character. Probably Ricochet Rabbit, Magilla Gorilla, like that type of character.
I love Magilla Gorilla.
So yeah, that's like my earliest memory, like Peter Potamus, all those characters. You know,
I love like everybody hates like the 70s Hanna-Barbera stuff. I love the 70s. I love the Dynamite. I love Captain Caveman.
I like those too, but when you go into like, there's a lot of 70s garbage when you look at it as an art form, and even in the 80s when you get, you know, the Happy Days show and Laverne and Shirley.
I love the Happy Days show.
Those were some of the worst Hanna-Barbera episodes ever made. The people working on it knew they were terrible. They hated it.
I know. But they're so good. Leslie, what's your favorite Hanna-Barbera show? Some people are asking that. What if you have an all-time favorite?
I can't think. My brain is fried. I don't know. I do like Magilla Gorilla a lot.
Yeah, Magilla's good. Yeah.
What's yours?
Mike? I think everyone knows Mike's already.
Well, no, I mean, I love. For me, like my character passions have always been Muppets and Hanna-Barbera. You know, and like they both equal to me, and like I equate Hanna-Barbera to like the world of the Muppets in a sense, where like I look at the Muppets as like kind of like Muppet Family Christmas, where it's like Kermit and his friends, the Sesame characters, the Fraggle characters as a whole. So when I think of the Hanna-Barbera family, like I'll look at it like the main four, which would be Fred Flintstone, George Jetson, Yogi Bear, and Scooby-Doo combined.
Oh my gosh! You just tell me.
What's that?
My favorite Hanna-Barbera character.
Oh, is that? Oh, that's Dino right there. And that's what we were just talking about with you got the Flintstones. Yeah. Hold on. Let me pull this down so Leslie.
Dino.
Please do. I collect these jelly jars.
Yes.
Oh my God.
This thing here, let me just zoom in on it so I can get a better view.
Oh my God. Oh, I love him.
Down, Dino, down.
So
I had well, yeah. I mean, we used to fight over growing up Star Trek or the Flintstones, and I wanted Flintstones.
I would be there with you too.
They were at the same time in the Honeymooners, and then I was young and I was watching All in the Family. But I just liked all the gadgets on the Flintstones. Mr. Slate. I liked all the Anne Margrock. I love you, but ain't gonna be your fool. But and I had a Dino little eraser that I would just like take everywhere and just clutch in my hand. But my husband just got me this Dino jelly bar because and it's funner to collect them, but he cheated and went on the internet, and I'm not gonna say I'm so glad he did. But that's it. Sorry, I must be fried. How can I not say Dino?
I was just because they're showing the Flintstones on MeTV now.
Oh yeah.
And so there's a comment about there's one episode from the first season where Dino speaks, and then he just never talked again.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I think it was when he was green. Like there was an episode they were in the woods.
Yeah, that was his original.
Spoke like once, and that was, and then
I got it because it's also
the Flintstones went down when the Great Kazoo came.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's also on HBO Max, the Flintstones.
Are they?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. But see that again, Flintstones. It's the 6 seasons. Like I enjoy those, but I like Pebbles and Bam Bam show. I like the new Fred and Barney show.
When Ryan and I sing as Abby and Elmo, we think we sound like Pebbles and Bam Bams.
Don't let the sun shine in with a green.
Yeah.
And Hoagie Carmichael.
Yeah. There's a great CD. And you and Paul would probably enjoy it.
A man called Flintstone.
Well, no, we have the record album here, but it's called Songs from the Stone Age. I'll send you a picture of it. But
does it have the way outs on it?
It has like all that stuff on it.
That's awesome.
It has all that stuff. I'll send you a picture of all of it.
Yeah.
And if you can't find it, I'll bring you a copy.
Where did you get that big Dino, Michael?
Well, I got it at a con. It was it's a Funko Dino. And I was saying my cousin bought it for me because he thanked me for bringing him to the con. It was like his first show, and I was doing the show. It wasn't really the best show for me, and he bought this to kind of cheer me up. It's actually a bank. Behind it, it has the slit right there.
Yeah, but those are great.
Yeah, and then he's got. I've never used it as a bank, but down here you could take out the money. And
if I was in California, I have a Pinky in the Brain like that.
That's awesome.
Plastic. It's not a bank, and then I have.
We had just quickly speaking of that, real quick. I had Keith Tucker on, who was a storyboard artist on Pinky and the Brain. And in the video, he had those plastic things that you were just talking about. The plastic.
Yeah, I had those, and then I had from the big hairy monster from the red.
Oh, the Looney Tunes, Gossamer?
Yes, I had him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because the Warner Brothers store, when they used to have the Warner Brothers store.
Yeah, that was my go-to store. I actually worked when I was 18 years old, right as I was graduating high school, at the Disney store. And the Warner Brothers store wasn't in the same mall, so I'd drive to the other place because I preferred Warner Brothers back then over Disney.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in a town called Mahopac, New York. It's in Putnam County. So it's kind of in between where I live now and where Mike lives. I used to live in the middle. Now I'm closer to New York City.
Yeah.
But the Danbury Mall in Danbury, Connecticut.
I know where that is.
Yeah, it was a half hour from there. And I'd go to the Warner Brothers store. But I worked at the Jefferson Valley Mall, which was like in the Yorktown area. Mm-hmm. And that was the Disney store I worked in for about 6-7 months.
So great. I know. I just, my dad wanted to be an animator for Disney.
Yeah.
And he, I'm the only kid in our family that's born in California. He went to Cal Arts. Yeah. Like he got in an automobile accident. He had an Italian restaurant. He did all kinds of stuff. And he went back to school and he wanted to be, an animator. And then he ended up being an art teacher. He's right here. But you know what he loves Snow White.
Oh, very nice.
This is just like, these are like the Disney ornaments are crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're amazing.
I know. And I'm obsessed. I really like Jiminy Cricket. Sorry, you guys are getting.
It's on my other side.
What, Jiminy Cricket?
Yeah, I have. Oh, not that one, but I got a Disney shelf, and I got a couple of Jiminy Crickets over there.
This one's called the light burnout, but it lights up.
I think I might have that in storage, and I bring it out because we do my wife and I do a Disney tree. Our house is completely Disneyed out. This is the only room that has. Oh yeah, that is beautiful. My studio is the only room that has other stuff than Disney in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So everywhere you go, her birthday was today. I just gave her a Winnie the Pooh snow globe and a little Mickey plaque. And
wait, today was your wife's birthday?
Yeah.
And you're spending it here with us?
Well, you know what? She likes she occasionally likes some alone time, and me not always around. I think. That's so nice. It's her birthday. Let me give it to her. Why not? I mean, I spend all my time in the studio anyway.
I wish I could find it. I had my dad's sketchbook, and in it there are some sketches he did of the Seven Dwarves. And when my sister and my brother, this was before I was born, he painted a mural of Snow White surrounded by all the forest animals on the wall. And stuff, so, and I think just the animation is such great storytelling. I think they remember when Disney was re-releasing movies back in the theater for a little bit, and they re-released Pinocchio. And I remember watching that, and I just think it's such a beautiful story because it's about, you know, Geppetto wanting a child, you know, and it's so beautiful. I'm actually writing, I have this dream to do a Lolly movie, like a really low tech, no green screen, just all puppetry. And it's a spin on Pinocchio. It's an all-female version. And it's based on my mom, who used to volunteer at the hospice thrift store. And she finds this little doll that keeps getting, none of the kids want her. You know, she's thrown on the ground. She decides to take her home, sew her, put her back together. And the blue fairy, my character, Velvet Lenore, is watching and says, I'm going to try that blue fairy spell on these two. And she casts a spell, and Lolly comes to life, and she's living with her Granny Doris, or Granny Dot, in a mobile park, a senior mobile park. So it's kind of a spin on that, but then it's her adventures with these seniors and her bringing life back and forth to them. So one day.
A lot of projects in the works there.
I know. That's why I have all these little to-do lists. An activity book, a pipe cleaner book, Heart Skills, which is Mike knows is like my service learning club I dream about. And actually, the Wake Up Your Weird, or the Weird Wednesdays, which is based on my show Wake Up Your Weird, is just an experiment, you know?
Yeah. I think it's a good experiment that's going to be joyful for a lot of people. And joy. Whenever we think of Leslie, we think of joy. I mean, like you are the embodiment of it.
I'm a little nervous because Art House is kind enough to host it, right? And so there's a Zoom link, and we're sending out all the information with the Zoom link, which means people just have to log in the Zoom link, right? Yeah. And my friend Laura, she's gonna be like inviting people in, and then Ryan's gonna be in charge of like videos and stuff. And it's just gonna be a free for all. It's gonna be just like a quirky, like we're not gonna have rehearsal, put it that way. But people have been sending me these horror stories like, what if somebody comes in and does something awful on Zoom? I think you could just kick them out, right?
And you can kick people out.
You can do that.
So I was like, oh no. It's family friendly though. I mean, it's like you were talking about who your superhero would be. I'm Poppin' Wong Python, a little bit of Mary Poppins, a little bit of Mary Poppins, a little bit of Monty Python, and a little bit of Willy Wonka.
Awesome.
I got this at a Comic-Con, this silk screen.
It's very nice. I didn't know if that was a book or not. That's very nice.
I think that was my very first Comic-Con. Mike, do you know, Mike, you were the first person because I was on that panel. That was my very first Comic-Con.
You know, although the one that we did at New York Comic-Con.
The very first panel you asked me.
Oh, wow. New York Comic-Con, your first con. That's a very intimidating show to be your first con.
Well, I did kind of, this doesn't really count, but I really liked Batman, and I really loved Frank Gorshin as the Riddler. This is a good comic book story that's so nerdy. So he was at this big comic book store in Florida, and I didn't have anything for him to sign. But, you know, you can buy still. So I bought some. But I made out of Sculpey a question mark that I painted that I was going to wear like a nerd, you know, a question mark that was signed by Frank Gorshin into a necklace. And, you know, I waited in line. It was wrapping around the comic book store, and he was smoking. He looked like nonstop. He had a smokeless ashtray, and it was in his contract. He just smoked and smoked. I mean, his skin was like a wallet. And I get up there, and I asked him to sign my things, and then I asked him, and people would, you know, he would just pay for the signature. And then, would you sign my question mark? And he goes, what is this? Cookie?
Oh, no.
A blank cookie, and I'm like, kind of. And he signed it. I gotta find it, but I shellacked it, and I would wear this question mark signed by Frank Gorshin.
Yeah, he was. I met him probably a year before he passed away. He was a really nice guy, though, too.
Yeah,
that man was a genius. He really was. He's an incredible actor, incredible impressions, like amazing.
Nice man. So,
all right, are we out of questions or?
I don't know. We were just.
I got to be honest. We've been talking so much. I haven't even looked at many of the comments.
Oh, look! I pulled out. Here's a quirky Hanna-Barbera favorite of mine that I went and pulled out.
Oh, look at that! See how sweet. There's something about like
stupid character.
And actually, I wanted to pull out and show you something, Leslie, because you were talking about the Warner Brothers store. A friend of mine gave me this, but this came from the Warner Brothers store. I don't know if you could see it. So it's a Tweety with a pet on a pencil eraser, and then it says different things. So it says "Get the lead out," "Get to the point," "I'll pencil you in." And
oh my God, that's so great!
That's it. And he's like, I found it. I'm getting rid of it, and I know you like, Looney Tunes. Here you go. And so.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome!
Yeah, I got a lot of cool stuff like that. He gave me, I think it was like Looney Tune trivets. He didn't want them, and they're just like.
Oh, I know. I've seen those. They're gorgeous. They're all different colors, and they look at their circle like.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I have them in one of my drawers in my dining room. Yeah.
A lot of our stuff is in California, but I mean, I do have a lot of Disney stuff.
This print came from the Warner Brothers store too. Like they had an amazing art gallery.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, like,
didn't we have a giant Warner Brothers store in New York here? I felt like they did.
Yeah, they did. There was an elevator. Like if you went in the elevator, Superman was underneath it. And
when I was doing Dr. Seuss, The Wobulous World of Dr. Seuss, I did the second season. And that was my first experience in New York. I was so nervous. I lived with my friend's parents.
You lived in Manhattan or you're in the outside?
I lived on Murray Hill, 36th and 3rd. And my walk to the studio, which is the carriage house at 63rd and 3rd. I walked there every day because I was afraid of being lost. I was afraid of the subway, and I didn't have money for a cab. So I would walk. And then I would walk from there down to Chelsea Studios because it was Dr. Seuss. I want to make sure there's these little – I think I'm getting charged here with my computer. Okay. Yeah, so it was and I carried a big life-size plastic reindeer with me because I didn't want people to bother me. So it was my first time in New York. And they didn't.
It's funny you mention it because years season 30, I was an intern at Sesame Street, and I worked in the Manhattan office. I was working on Dragon Tales, and there was the same. At the time they had the Lincoln Center office, and then the other office was the Paramount building, which is over by Times Square, that big black building. There used to be that Mars 31, the restaurant underneath it over by like where Cats was and where Beetlejuice was. And like if I had to go over to Lincoln Center, like my supervisor there, she'd be like, "Oh, you could take the subway, you can walk." I'm like, "I'll walk," because I didn't know the subway. So I was like, sometimes Center.
It's making weird noises, my computer, so hopefully it'll be mine. Heidi Stephen Carpenter wants to do a Splash and Bubbles shout out as well. Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Heidi. That I'm super, super proud of because that was really, really hard. It looks like animation, but it's digital puppetry. And I was terrified. In fact, I remember talking to Johnny. I happened to visit the Henson lot, and I go, I'm wondering if there's anything I was looking for work, and I usually don't do this, but I just happened to buy. I'm like, hey, I'm going to be here for a while. If anything comes up, and Johnny goes, oh, can you tomorrow come by? I want you to read for something. I didn't know you'd be here. And I'm like, oh, great. Do you know the digital puppetry? And I go, a long time ago, I did Francis. I played the mom. That was a thing. And he goes, oh, just come on and do it. It's really easy. And I'm like, no, it's not. Anyway, so he showed me a little bit of it. He said it was a prototype, and I was reading, and he goes, "Great, you're going to do the pilot." And I'm like, "What?" And it was terrifying, and it was Paul Rudd. Freakazoid. Yeah, we toured together. Anyway, so for the Puppet Up for a little bit. Anyway, so it was really hard. But what saved me is my love from animation and my dad, because we have like a Waldo that you can trigger. Like a lot of Muppet geeks know what a Waldo is, right? Left, mouth open and closed. And then there was a joystick that we would attach expressions to everything. Like, so we would blink with a thing, our eyes would open. It was a joystick. There was expressions attached to every single movement. We had foot pedals. And then we would go in and we would design an expression, and then we would program it. So if you imagine like you're playing a Wurlitzer organ, you know, where you're hitting all these buttons and all these different, you're mixing all these songs, you're actually playing your rig as if it was, you were painting, you're doing live animation in real time. And then Alan Trotman, who I've known as long as I've known my husband, because we met on Muppets Tonight, he was the body of Bubbles. So there was so I was driving all the expression on the face of the fish, and then Alan had these like digital puppets that had these little motion tractions on it with levers and everything, and he would program all our expressions. So to make that fish go, it took two of us, and then we would, you know, have scenes. So imagine if you're doing animation and you're just riffing as voice actors. And then Amy Garcia, who's genius and one of my dearest friends, I absolutely love her. We lived together, which was crazy. And we were like, oh gosh, this is so hard. But Amy is a theater baby like me. So it was so hard that our brains, we would get headaches because the part of the brain that we weren't used to using was growing. So it was really hard. So then on top of that, there was 3 different windows. One window would show the shot that you were playing to. One window would show the shot coming up. And one window would have the expression of your fish.
Jeez, that's cool.
And then you would put your script up. And then there was 3 different cameras. And you didn't necessarily see all the shots, and they were all moving. Wow. So it was the most challenging, but most rewarding. The cast was wonderful. Johnny is such a great leader. He made sure everybody felt, you know, was listened to and taken care of. And then I was nominated for an Annie Award for Bubbles. Man. And I couldn't believe it, because that is a really hard award to be nominated for. And I was like, well, I also animated my fish. So it wasn't just voiceover. Did not win it, but I went to the party. Thank you, Heidi, for talking about that. And Dan Garza worked on that. And Raymond Carr worked on that. Donna Kimball, Alice Deneen, like superstar. Victor Ura dropped by. Just like, it was just a master class.
Yeah. I mean, and again, you've worked with so many wonderful people, like you said.
Oh yeah, there's all the people that I work with, I'm fans of, and I just admire their work so much. And I think that like, and what I was talking about on Sesame Street, those specials are really difficult. Like when we did the Elmo's Playdate, the Zoom Playdate, because we are, you know, have headphones in, we're not in the room, we're separate from each other, but because we're so close and know each other's timings and rhythms and everything, that we've got, you know, a chemistry and a support system. That's really lovely.
Yeah, no. And you know, and I know it's getting late, and we should probably wrap up momentarily. But I mean, one thing I think we should also mention too was your relationship with Chuck Mccann. As we're sitting here talking about cartoons and classic people, I know you and Chuck were very, very close.
Yeah, in fact, I just found, well, he's up there always watching me. I have him pinned up. I actually found, and you're gonna love this. Let me see if I can find the journal that I was looking at. Chuck and I used to hang out. I actually found one of his drawings in my journal. He was always, he grabbed my journal and would just draw in it. I think this is one. I wish I would have known. I would have, I have so many journals. I'm so analog.
That's the thing. You've had relationships. You've worked with so many different people. You've done so much. I mean, like, we could do a
Chuck and I, like Chuck, Uncle Chuck. I called him my Uncle Chuck. We used to. I'm going to talk a little bit. It's a mess down here. I'm sure he's in one of my journals because I'm an analog person. You know, I'm just now figuring out the iPad. But he's an amazing puppeteer. I don't know that people know that. And we have the same voiceover agent. And someone said, you should know this Chuck Mccann because I grew up on the West Coast. Mm-hmm. So I didn't, I knew of Chuck Mccann, but when I met him, it was like we immediately were kindred spirits. We were each other's spirit animal, and he loved Lolly. In fact, I still have messages on my phone that he would leave for Lolly. You tell Leslie, I hope you better be doing good. And we used to go once a week. We used to go see this big band play at this, rehearse at this Mexican restaurant. And they used to do 2 sets. And they set up the back area, and it was Hollywood royalty. I met June Foray there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And her sister. And they look like salt and pepper shakers because they're about this big. And Chuck knew everybody. Anyway, we'd sit at the table, and these classic famous people would sit down with Chuck, and he goes, this is Leslie. She's just great. And then we'd go into characters. We would just improvise like Jonathan. We would just go into all these different characters. Sometimes people would sit down. Sometimes they'd avoid us because they thought they're crazy. And then every once in a while I would get to sing with the band a little bit. And then Chuck started coming to my shows. Then when I got Sesame Street, he was so proud of me. I went to his house. He has this beautiful, like, he goes, oh, I bought an organ, and I don't really know how to do it. And he'd start playing it like a mad scientist. He had all the Paul Ashley puppets, which are now back with Paul Ashley's granddaughter. And I think they're going to be showcased at the Center for Puppetry Arts. I'm hoping that we're going to get something at the Museum of the Moving Image. Mm-hmm. But he had pictures of everything. He would let me hold the puppets. He did puppet shows. He was just a genius. He was my hero and my friend and my mentor, and just thank you for sharing that. I know he's right there. I have Carol right there, my family. I have I got this little art box, and like you guys, we surround ourselves with our inspirations and everything. But
nice. Yeah. So, I mean, this has been great tonight. I know it's been a long show tonight, but this has been a great show. We've had a lot of people commenting. And again,
I didn't stop talking.
No. This is what it's all about. While you were out, people were like thanking us because they said this was like going to a con panel, and it's free and it's at home, and that's the whole point of why we do this in the first place, is to bring this to people's homes.
Yeah, and you're connected to the things that you love to do, like who's your favorite character and why. I think that's what Weird Wednesdays is going to be about. Like, I recently did this, I have a couple things that sometimes I paint. This is funny. This was I did Lolly, comparison is the thief of joy.
Let me give you the screen there. Wow.
And originally it was just like, are you ready to do your own art now, Lolly? I forgot why I was even writing this, and I was just like, sometimes I'm thinking, oh, I get intimidated by people's art and stuff. And then I realize, like, why am I doing this? Why am I spending so much time on this? And then because my intention, so then I just painted this the other day. And I think with all that's going on in the world, if our intention, we have to just stay on it and especially as artists, all the great, social commentary that's going out there, and it's going out there artistically, and the writers, and, we're balancing the world. You can balance the world because you got to have,
You said balance, and that's like one thing somebody said the other day. I'm a teacher, and somebody was saying about, 2020 is the worst year ever. And another teacher commented, actually, 2020 might be the best year ever because as a society, we're
it's a wake-up call.
Yeah, and resilience and all this. 2020 might be a year of remembering all the great change that happens now.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation there too. I loved visiting your after-school program.
Oh, we enjoyed having you, and the kids are happy. And this week we're going to share out our after-school program. I think this week will be Weird Wednesdays, so we'll get that out.
Weird Wednesdays. Also, check this out. I'll do this for you.
Thank you very much. I'll be actually pitching that tomorrow because every Tuesday night I'm doing Get in Tune on here. I interview an artist or someone in the art field. So
I'm going to have to check out and follow you guys more. I've said yes to so many things. I do what's coming up, Weird Wednesday. I am having an adult type of evening on June. I don't know. Let me see. I have to laugh.
So yeah, good. I was gonna say, throw up those links again there, Grassia.
Jim Caruso has a thing called. He usually does something called Cast Party. That's at Birdland, or House Party. But he's doing a pajama party, and I'm super excited because he asked me to perform. Yeah. So Lolly and I will probably do a song on that, and that's Jim Caruso's Cast Party. I'm probably I don't know if I can say it yet, but you guys should follow Miss Coco Peru. I don't know if I can. And then let me see.
Follow it and be surprised.
Yeah.
Camp Blart. Stay tuned. Yeah. You know what? I'll be better. I usually throw stuff up on Instagram and Facebook, and then the Lolly portal. We're calling it the Lolly portal, Lolly's World portal. I know I'm forgetting something.
And and for everybody who's watching tonight too, we're gonna share out everything for the Weird Wednesdays too, so you guys can, follow that up. We'll send it out for our newsletter.
This is all I've got so far. Is this?
And everybody watching at home, right now it's just letters and a whiteboard. On Wednesday that board is gonna be like, whoa.
Who knows what this will be?
It is gonna be amazing. So.
Oh, and another thing I'm working on, a project is called Once Upon a Box, and that's through Art House Astoria, and the kids can sign up. It's kind of like a theater camp in a box because kids are so busy and they're all over the place, and they sign up and they receive this box that just is kind of like a jump start for your imagination. And Stephen Cardona and Jesse Tomsko and myself give these like little classes, 5 classes, and they through these classes in the box, they come up with a show that they create by the end. So that's another experiment, and that's what is happening. I think everybody's experimenting and doing things they didn't think they would do.
Yeah. It's a great time for that. So
yeah,
yeah.
It is.
So once again, thank you to you. Well, there's Phil. I hope his head's okay. Poor Phil.
Poor Phil. He's such a nice guy.
Lolly's probably passed out from all the candy.
She is. You don't want to know.
What is it? The candy overload or whatever.
Help me.
Phil, now's your time. Get out of there. Escape. So once again, thank you to Leslie Carrera Rudolph. Thank you to everybody who joined in tonight. This was a lot of fun. We'll be back Thursday night, and tomorrow night Grassia has Getting To. So definitely check that out. Wednesday, Weird Wednesday. So I guess we'll put all that information up there. So follow that.
Only 3. They're all different.
3. So don't miss out on those. And we will see you guys all next time for IncrediChat. Thank you again, Leslie.
Bye.
All right. Thanks again. Bye, guys.
Yes. All right. And we are on.